I don't know what the hell just happened. I sat here in this place because this is a new setup. If you're watching this on the YouTube channel, yes, this is a new setup. This is a temporary thing because I'm actually house sitting for my grandmother. So shout outs to the grandma for giving me the place. I've been here for a bit. This is a new setup which I've been using for a bit. I love living alone. It's fucking amazing. But before we do any of that, I sat here at this desk for 40 minutes trying to figure out how to use this shit. This mic was not working and I sat here and I've already had a really shit day and it just got... anyways, I'm happy to be on camera and I'm happy to be recording, so thank fuck. But anyways, welcome everyone to episode 6, 7, not quite sure. God, I'm such a mess. Welcome to the Verdugo podcast. Hopefully you guys have had a great Christmas, a great New Year's. And yeah, man, it's 2020. What the fuck? Like, it's weird. This year went extremely quick, slow and quick at the same time. It's a bit weird, but nevertheless, I really do hope you guys enjoyed your holidays, enjoying your New Year, spent with your family and friends or whatever you guys were doing. On the other hand, we had like a really mellow Christmas. It was super chill, nothing too crazy. And then New Year's was nice. It was really good. It was probably one of the best New Year's I've had in a while, because of the fact that one of my friends is actually going to Perth in about 2 weeks' time or something like that. And it was our last New Year's or last technically event being around with us or with like my group of friends. So we decided to go out with a bang and it was amazing. Played like... we got to meet like two of her American friends, which is really cool. It's really cool to listen to other people that aren't your accent. It's really weird because the whole night, me and my friends and the two American friends, one was from Toronto and one is from LA, so technically Canada. But literally the whole night we were just debating on accents and why they say shit words and we say shit words too. Like the way they pronounce no. They think for us, there's like an R at the end of an O, which is really weird. But then when I hear it from their perspective, it's like they emphasize every single last letter of every word. It's really weird. It's such like the concept of like accents is just so intriguing because no matter where you're from, you're just going to speak differently. And it's weird. But we were catching a vibe with them. They were hanging out with us. We just like stayed at home and got drunk at home, like we played King's Cup. If you haven't heard of King's Cup before, that shit is the biggest G-up in history. That is so good because you have like all these cards have a different meaning. You pick up a card and if you get a king, you have to put your drink in the cup. And at the end, if you draw the last king, you got to drink the cup that's filled with like everyone's drink. And that's already scary enough as it is. And we played 2 rounds. So I crashed at like 5 a.m., which was a bit, that's a bit of a late one for me. But nevertheless, New Year's was great. Just catching vibes, literally just a group of mates, whatever. And then now I'm thinking back at it, 2020, like what does that have installed for me? What does 2020 have to offer that 2019 didn't have? And maybe like what has the last 10 years been about? And I can go into this podcast. I'm semi-winging it just because it's a new year. It's just new beginnings. And I always had the mentality like, you wake up the next day and the day's the same. Nothing's changed. But technically, if you were to look at it in that perspective, you're never going to transition into like a new chapter of your life. You're always going to be stuck in that bubble. I was like that for a couple of years. And now looking back at it, the way you can go about it is it's not so much as just resetting the next day. It's, hey, it's a new year. It's a new calendar year. Technically, it is the new it's 365 brand new days coming up that you can make a difference. You can change. You can do whatever it may be in order to better yourself, better people around you, and do better at life. Me on the other hand, like I can go over the last 10 years and I've seen posts. I've seen plenty and plenty of posts of like, that my decade in like someone posts on IG like my decade or whatever, and it's 10 years, man. You can't post fucking 10 photos of 10 years worth of what's happened to you. That is impossible. Like, no. it's when I think back, when I look back at my 10 years, right? 2010, I was in year 9. I was in year 9 in high school, man. And then, like, that's like nothing's changed then. I was a kid. Like, even though I still act like a kid till this day, which I still do because I'm a kid at heart and I admit it. But I was in year 9. Like, yeah, transitioning would have been 2013. That was like a big year because that was my year 12. So really, this decade has been a lot's happened in this decade when you really do think about it. So, what's this? 2013, finished year 12. 2014 or 2015, it would have been. It was 2015, started my course. That was my marketing course, Latrobe. Shout out to the business boys. Did that 2015, graduated end of 2018. 2019 was a bit of a funny one. And then 2020 is now where we get into the stepping stone. Like, this is the new chapter. This is my new decade. This is where I technically need to grow up, even though I'm not going to. But this is where, hey, you know, the full-time job comes into place. The start saving for something comes into place. And I'll get into that soon. The, you know, ability to meet new social groups within just like not my group of friends, but have like work friends and just have a bigger, meet like so many new people. It's crazy when you really do think about it in that sense where you have a brand new job. It's a brand new environment. It's a brand new area that I don't know about. I don't know anything about it. And this is the course I've finished was marketing. That's where I want to start. And yeah, I've been lazy in the last couple of months, but I've kind of been enjoying it and just have that sense of freedom, being able to do what I want. And now it's like, hey, let's buckle down. Let's start trying to find an internship. Let's try and find something in order to get into that realm of marketing in order to get that experience that I want to have. So that's like my main goal for this first quarter of 2020 is to get this job and get my fucking foot in the door and get my experience, my knowledge, my persona. Does that even make sense? No, my personality. Get that out there. Because, you know, I feel like companies will be of value if I'm there. I don't know. It's the way I think about it. That's how I want to think about shit. So that's like one of the main goals, which I want to really just fucking nail down in the first quarter of 2020. But I'll get into the goals soon. It's got a lot to really talk about just because with this whole new 2020 vibe. And I'm sure everyone's like, it's a 50-50. There's people that be like, yeah, 2020 is going to be G up. And there's other ones saying, bro, it's the next day. Who cares? But when you think about it, it's a new decade. You've had like all these lists of like artists of the decade, which Drake was number 1 for artists of the decade. You've got top songs of the decade, all this shit. But when you really do think about it, you had 10 years from 2010 to 2020. What did you actually do? And I already went through that. A big one was that I had a relationship from about 2011 up until 2019, which is actually pretty most recent. That was obviously a big chapter within that whole decade. And now looking at it, 2020, it's just a completely new, it's really hard to explain, but the way I look at it is, yeah, that chapter of my life was complete and now I'm on to a new one. I've already started and it's fucking amazing. Like, it couldn't be, the way I'm going right now, it couldn't be any better. Another thing, like obviously something I've spoken about plenty of times on this channel and on this podcast, actually, should I say, was that 2018 I got diagnosed with my anxiety, and then 2019 got diagnosed with like mild depression. And looking back at it, yeah, that decade of my life, that shit's over, my G. It's done and dusted. Like, yeah, I'll be very, very honest with you. I won't lie. There are days where it creeps back on me and I get really down in the dumps. For example, today, right until I press this audio recording, until I press the record button, I was in the dumps. Like, I was genuinely just sad. And that's life. Like, you're not going to wake up every single day and be G'ing up, be excited, be happy. There are going to be the days where you're going to be just fucking sad and a little bit of a Debbie Downer. And that's just the truth. But, you know, venting out and telling all about these goals and stuff, for me, prior to this, was a little bit overwhelming just because there's so many things that I want to do and it's not written down. And that's one thing I really want to talk about is writing down and getting like it's called a bullet journal. I've mentioned this on my episode 2, I believe, or episode 3 of my podcast, where I've had a bullet journal. It hasn't been consistent though, which kind of fucking sucks because it actually is a bit of an effort. when I was going through some dark times, it really helped, and I feel like it's going to do well now. Even though it's not dark times, it's an overwhelming time because there's so much shit to do. For example, right? Let's say in the bullet journal, you write down all like 30, 31 days, from 1 to 30, 31, whatever, every single letter of the day, Tuesday, Wednesday, blah, 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 blah. You write down what you're doing each and every single day, whether it be, doing the washing, whether it be getting the groceries, whether it be meal prepping for the week, whether it be paying your bills. Something as simple as that can be so satisfying when you tick it off and when you're done. Because for me, shit just comes and I'm pretty forgetful, in that sense where I don't remember when my bills are due and I'm fucked. It's literally that. I get the text message, man, with your phone bill's overdue, and it happens every fucking month. Oh, that's just another thing that adds to my anxiety, and it fucking kills me. But nevertheless, the bullet journals help, and that's what I'm going to start doing. Along with that goes the weight loss journey as well, just maintaining the weight, getting to a nice, decent weight, which I'm happy with. Yeah, I don't want to get extremely fucking shredded to the point where it will last a day. I want to be a nice, healthy, maintainable weight in order to be able to eat shit, but still be balanced out and still look nice, if that makes sense, and still putting in time in the gym as well. That's just another goal of mine, which I really want to focus my eyes on, because that, I told you guys before, that's always been about me. It's that self-consciousness and feeling like ass just because of the way I look, and it fucking sucks, and I hate it. I absolutely hate it with a fucking passion. So that's one thing I really just want to nail down, get onto it, and really just focus. Another one is obviously the job. Getting into the marketing will be a really, really mad J-up, and I keep hitting that, fuck's sake. Having people of like the same thing that you're doing, I'm assuming we're going to blend with one another and just ride off each other's knowledge, if that makes sense. I'm hoping so anyway. But that's one main goal, which I'm really looking forward to. Another one is I've never said this before, is to just be in a good financial state at the end of 2020. That's literally my main goal. Because this whole time I was on YouTube, this whole time I've been outside of school, working like casual, part-time, all that stuff. I've never been in a good financial position. That is really, really hard to admit. Oh God. That's a hard one. And it's like a taboo topic. I don't know why. But I hate talking about it. Like, it sucks. Just because like being financially stable would relieve so much anxiety from me, because I've always seen myself, I'm so fucking broke, can't afford shit. Then you still go out and buy clothes, and then you're thinking back after, you're like, what the fuck am I doing? And you're just getting yourself in a deeper hole. And that's one thing that's just stuck with me since I was young. Like not young, but like 18, 19. Like just being able to, like, if I went jobless, which I am right now, and not having something to fall back on would suck. And that is kind of me to an extent. I don't have like much of a savings. I actually don't have any savings at all. And one primary goal, what I want to have in 2020, is to be able to be financially stable, to have something to fall back on if shit goes wrong. If my car breaks down and I have to rip out like $2,000, I know I can fork that out easily. Another one which I really want to start focusing on is start saving. And it's so daunting, because it's the initial zero. It's starting from zero. And then when you save, you put like, let's say you put 100 in. It's like, you look at that and you're like, yeah, but it's not 1,000. And you're just dreading it. And that's what I can't even speak because I fucking hate this topic. Legit. It's the way I look at it, in that it's only 100, it's only 200, it's only this much, where you're meant for more. And the end goal, like the ideal end goal for me, is to save and get an apartment. That's like, it'd be a dream. That'd be so sick. The way this idea came about, right? This idea came about because my grandma actually is overseas in Argentina. She went in December time, about December, yeah, and she comes back. No, sorry, not even before that, November-ish. And it's coming back in January in about literally a week and a half. And this whole time, I've just been house sitting. I've been staying here, and it's nice. It's nice to be alone. It's nice to kind of do like things, even though it's not my stuff. It's like you have your own room, your own house, blah, blah, blah. So thinking about that in an apartment point of view, the way I'll go about it, oh my God, I'd make it look so sexy. Oh my God. Like interior design, like the way I would go about it, it would be a nice monotone, borderline minimal, not so minimal, but having sprinkle of art and design, a bit of fashion, a bit of, you know, my character, like artwork that visualizes me, like an artwork of Batman that's very intriguing. I hang on the wall, whether it be like a piece of artwork from Rick Owens or some shit like that, like a custom made one. Who the fuck knows? But in that sense, that's how that's what my apartment would look like. A nice, beautiful, high ceiling apartment, in like the streets of like Fitzroy or Brunswick or something, or even a bit out in Northcote area, like semi close to the city, but still being able to catch a vibe whenever you want to go out into like Thornbury or Northcote or Brunswick area. Having that high ceiling apartment, being nice, minimal, black and white, hints of grey, and then throwing like the hint of beige and camel every so often. Ooh, what a steez, bro. Oh my God. And it has to have the walk-in wardrobe. If it doesn't have a walk-in wardrobe, I'm not fucking buying it. Like, not a fucking chance. Because you guys know me. It's legit. It's walk-in wardrobe. Everything's open, and you just stack on. You have clothes for days. Like, just imagine walking in and just seeing all these like these com pieces, these fucking beautiful issy pleats and trousers and blazers and fucking Rick pieces and vintage pieces just everywhere, and having boots and shit. Oh man, what a steez. That's G'd me up. It's G'd me up for what this year has to come. And yeah, not a chance am I going to move in at the end of the year. That is not fucking happening. Like, not a chance. But, you know, in the next maybe 2 years, maybe it might happen. If you really, really nail down and get onto it, it could happen. And it might happen. And that's one thing I'm definitely really looking forward to, is getting that apartment, moving out. Because even prior to this, yeah, I'll tell you guys right now, like even prior to this, when I was in a relationship before, we were talking about moving out, getting a house together and shit. And when that, you know, chapter of my life finished, it's like, hey, I'm like, what the fuck do I save for now? And then having that taste of sense of freedom, and then like in a unit like this, having an apartment would just be a beautiful fucking dream. You know, having people whenever the hell I want. Yeah, the only thing is like with me, you wouldn't be able to have that many people over an apartment unless if it's a big apartment. Yeah, you could, fucking oath. But, you know, you don't have that freedom of having outdoors and being able to like own a pet. Like, I would really love to own a dog as well. But when you think about it, my parents said this to me and I never got it until recently. And it was, yeah, it's that first home or the first house, first apartment. You know, you don't have to live there forever. You get it. You suss it, you stay there for a bit, and then you move on to another chapter. You move on to your second house or your second apartment, whatever it may be. And it's being able to go, it's like stepping stones. And it's not going, I remember one of my family friends was telling me this, because I went to one of my family friends who I haven't seen in about a year, my parents are very close with. I went to their place last Sunday, and I'm recording this on a Saturday, so about a week ago. I went to that place, and it was one of the most beautiful houses I've ever seen. It was spectacular. It was land for days. It had the interior design, the way she like the decor, whatever it is, the way she designed it was just impeccable. Like, it was sprinkles of like, because the couple that own it, the lady actually is into all her films and art. She had like a rumpus room filled with all the DVDs that she's collected over a whole lifetime, and that'll be me with my vinyl. It was just amazing to see, and the hints of artwork sprinkled out to represent her film and film culture, what she's in. That was like, fuck. Like, I saw that, I'm like, dude, that could be me. And like, we were talking, and we're having a discussion about that's not where you should start. Like, that house is not That's not their first home. That was like their fourth or fifth home. I think it was their fourth or third. And that's what they said to me, or the lady said to me. She goes, it's not, you don't go above and beyond as your first home. It always has to be something within your range. And me being, going in alone and not, buying a house with someone, you don't go big. You can't go big because you're not going to afford it. You can only think about the financial debt you would be in if you get $1 million home and you're on like a fucking $100,000 salary and you're doing it alone. That's not that sustainable, like when you really do think about it. So there's a lot of research that's going to have to go into it. It's going to be a lot of anxiety filled with it as well. Holy fucking shit. But, there's people out there, there's YouTube videos out there, there's articles and shit. Just, I got to read on it and get an idea of what it would be like to start saving and really knuckle down. Because even speaking about this and the whole home and all this bullshit, one of my very close friends from high school actually got a house like a couple months ago. And I remember them, I had no idea like they were buying a house at all. And I remember we were having a conversation and they said, yeah, we saved, but we didn't not go out ever. Like we still, had that taste of luxury every now and then. It wasn't, hey, I'm just going to rip out like this 1.5k bag or $2,000 piece or something. It's, hey, step back a bit. What are you actually saving for? And when you really think about it, it's, you're saving for a house. Like that is the next fucking chapter in your life. You have to be able to, make a few sacrifices. You can make, you can keep a few. Like for instance, for me, it'd be, I don't know if I was actually saving, let's say I'd save up on the side, like peanut change in order to afford a Rick Owens piece or something. It's not, hey, as soon as I save and this money comes through, boom, buy a piece. You can't do that. It's a lot more different than that. And that's something, we'll talk about in the next few months when I really nail down, get a job, get all this fucking pay and really start to mess around with money because it's a hard one. It's definitely a fucking hard one. But, that was like one of the main ones that I really wanted to go about. The other one would have been the weight loss journey and shit. That's kind of self-explanatory. It's just going to the gym, stop eating shit, and that's it. Like, I've got to go to the gym straight after this when I'm done. Get a feed afterwards and not eat out as much. That's another thing I definitely want to try and do is learn how to cook. Because fuck, you can save so much money if you learn how to cook, man. It's actually nuts. It's so nuts how much you can save. Oh my God. Like, it's weird. And I smacked the table. My bad. It's not weird. It's like, it's a little bit overwhelming to be like, fuck, like there's so much things going on when you're cooking. But if you really just nail down some simple recipes that you like can be your go-to, like I make this mean pesto pasta. Oh my fucking days. It was a pesto Bennett pasta. Ooh, I never ever eat leftovers ever. Like I hate leftovers. But this meal, I had it 2 days later and it was still fucking beautiful and I loved it. So that's going to be like one of my go-tos, even though it's pasta. So like could be like just a lunch thing and not a lot. Or even like a pre-workout kind of thing. Yeah, that would work. But like a pesto chicken salad, it's got like, got the garlic, got the fucking basil. I'm pretty sure it's basil. Yeah, it is. I'm still like iffy on this, bro. I saw the recipe. I, I had some help and then it came up pretty good. And yeah, just a funny story. I bought, when I made the dish, right? When so I didn't see how many grams I needed of basil. I just grabbed like a 10-gram bunch of basil. Mind you, I'm making like a fucking sauce, like a pesto sauce. You need like a fucking 100. I bought 10. I was like, yeah, that'll be enough. And I didn't realize. And that's the stupidest thing I've done in such a long time. When you really do think about it. But nevertheless, it was fucking beautiful. And pesto is such a steez. But yeah, like, just cooking and doing that stuff, the stuff you need to do on your own is just cooking, doing the laundry and all that shit. If you learn how to do it, you can fucking nail it. Laundry is simple, bro. I've always done my own, like mostly my own clothes. But cooking, never touched, like at all. The only thing I'm good at, I'm spectacular at, is a barbecue. not like just a typical, fucking snags and shit. It's like proper Argentinian style asado. I smash that shit, and it's so soothing. It's just it's so relaxing to cook. I don't know why. So hopefully in the first quarter of the year, I'll learn how to cook properly. That'll be very nice. But in terms of like other simple goals, sprinkle goals throughout the year is definitely focus on my wardrobe, focus on my style a lot more. I wasn't so much into fashion for the first 3 quarters of 2019, but recently I definitely have been diving in back into the scene, because sometimes I know there's a lot of people that probably experience this throughout like their fashion years, if that makes sense. But some people get a bit stale, and you're just like, I'm wearing the same shit over and over. Shit's a bit, the pieces coming out, just, you're not really vibing. That was me the first 3 quarters of 2019, and prior to that, 2018 was a really good year, because that was when I went to Japan. That was like really came out with the Japan steez. But nevertheless, thinking back on it, like the last quarter of this 2019, literally like the last 3 months or so, I've really nailed down and be like, what do I actually want? Like, and what can I actually fit into? Because like, it's hard to say, but if you're 36, 37 waist, you're not going to fit into com. Like, it's fucking sad. It's really sad and depressing, I know, but you just can't. But you mix that with something else. Yeah, maybe a com piece might fit 1 or 2, who the fuck knows? But what do I actually want to get out of fashion? And what do I want to represent with myself in terms of style? Lately, I've really been digging just the fucking open shirt, wife beater, loafers, denim. That's it. Like, it's so simple and so easy to pull off. Like, anyone can do it. Yeah, the loafers thing is a little bit different, because my mates have been giving me shit for fucking weeks on end, because I bought a pair of Doc Marten loafers. They're called the Adrian loafers, and they have like a tassel at the end, and they look at it and they're like, what the fuck is that? Like, it's so ugly, but when you wear it, it looks cool. And that's like the best compliment you can get. It's something where they look at it like, I can't wear that, but I know you can, and you make it look really good. So that's like a massive compliment when I get that. I'm like, that's so cool. Thank you. But I copped these loafers. I'll wear these with like denim. I've got like a nice wide straight cut, almost slim though. It's a bit weird. It tapers a bit. Pair of denim, wash black, wearing those on my loafers, tucked in wife beater, and just a black shirt, like a black overshirt, like short sleeve, or like an overshirt where it'd be like a corduroy or something. It's so easy to wear. Or like my BK jacket I'll wear as well, and it just works. Other ones other styles I've really been thinking about. It's just really classic workwear. It's literally what I've always been into though. So workwear / military / monochrome kind of mixed with like vintage and, vintage and maybe even a bit of 70s hints here and there. Been vibing with it lately. I've just been like looking online and just thrift shopping all this shit, and it's just a vibe, and I just really, really enjoy it. Pairing that with tats, it just really works. Like, it just represents me the most. And yeah, that was one thing that really came into my mind in 2019 was like all the tats that I've gotten over that year. But 2020 is about to be like, hopefully a bit of a glow up in terms of tats. That'd be very fucking nice. Like, I've got a few pieces in mind for 2020. Whether I'll be able to afford it if I do save, that's a different story. But like another tat which I've got in mind is like it was really weird because I really like the scythe. Just a simple scythe. So it's like a big, massive like stick, and it's got the sword actually is like very pointy and sharp and long and kind of curves in. That's like one piece I really want. Or like a single-handed one-sided battle axe. When you think about it, it's like, what the fuck? Why would you get that? But I thought about it the other day, and I realized it would be a fucking mad tap because my last name is Verdugo, and no one's ever asked me anyway, like, what does that actually mean? And it means it means executioner, in which is in the Middle Ages, like when everyone was fucking on death row, there'd be this big, massive fucking dude in an all-black drapey fit with this massive one-handed battle axe and just chop your fucking head off. It's so morbid. but like that's what Verdugo means. So having that like that axe would be fucking sick as a tat. And I really like the scythe. I like the way it looks. And another one is obviously the Bane. So Bane, you know, the Tom Hardy version of Bane is what I want to get done on my like Dark Knight arm, if that makes sense. And then just random pieces here and there. That'd be very nice. But whether it happens, I don't fucking know, because tats can be very expensive and it's just something you don't want to get really into because it's just so pricey. So that one, and also vinyl. I will definitely pick up vinyl in this year. It's only $40-$50 a pop. You can get one every so often, like once a month, once every 3 weeks if you can, would be nice. That might be even a bit too much. Once a month will be all right. Yeah, vinyl till 2020, same thing. I'm really hoping like more artists come out. Like most anticipated albums for me, I'm really looking forward to would be, funny enough, Drake, because I want to see his aggression side. Like I want to see him get mad and be like, this is why you don't mess with me. And yeah, it was Pusha over Drake any fucking day. Pusha absolutely obliterated him. But I want to see what Drake has to offer in 2020 in terms of the new album. I'm really looking forward to The Weeknd's new album. That's going to be an absolute banger, I'm telling you right now. Been a fan of The Weeknd for fucking years, man. And this new, like, I wouldn't say turn over a new leaf, but this new character he's kind of throwing in with Heartless and Blinding Lights, it's a vibe, and I'm fucking with it heavy. So his album would definitely be exciting. Looking forward to a new Denzel Curry project. That'll be very good, hopefully, if he drops one this year, which Taboo, impeccable album, fucking impeccable. Zoo was okay, but I've only started listening to Denzel since Taboo. And people were saying usually he drops like a small, almost EP before his main project, and that was the situation in Zoo. It was just like a couple songs and kind of catching a vibe for the next project, which will drop. So I'm really interested in that. A few other artists looking forward to not Drake, but Kendrick. Kendrick will be hopefully very interesting because Damn was good, but it wasn't, it wasn't to Pimp a Butterfly level, and I don't think anything else ever will be. But Kendrick's project, I'm looking forward to. The Weeknd, Drake. What other ones am I looking forward to? There's fucking heaps more. I just can't really remember. Those are just the main ones that got on the top of my head. But music-wise, we'll talk about that throughout the year. Most definitely. Moving on, what do you actually, how do you get motivated for the whole 2020 steez? Because, yeah, we've got all these goals and shit, but how do you get really motivated from it? And it's a hard one because if you've been in the loop of, yeah, it's just another day, blah, 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 it's kind of hard to get at that mentality. But I don't know, for me, in a sense, yeah, I used to think about that for a couple years. Like, nothing's really changed. But I feel like it's because it's a new decade and that, like, 10 years of my life is like that chapter's finished. And now in my position, it's a completely different new chapter. Like, when you really do think about it, like last year graduated, last year did all this shit, and now it's like, it's let's get the ball rolling, let's get out there, let's do something. But yeah, it's hard to explain. Like you just got to G up. It's as simple as you got to fucking G up. You got to get out of that fucking mentality of, yeah, it's another day, fuck this shit. Nah, man, it can't be like that. Like if you're gonna think like that, you're never going to move forward. You're never going to improve in anything if you think like that, because it just won't work. Like the only reason that would work is if you're starting to diet and people always say, yeah, I'll wait till next Monday. Those type of people be like, it's a different day, which I am, is, nah, fuck that. Why would you wait till the next Monday where you can start tomorrow? Get ahead of it. That's literally the only applicable thing which that mentality applies to. So in a sense, just, get out of that mentality, because it's not going to be beneficial for you at all. And just, I'm not going to say like, go fucking watch all these motivational speeches and all this shit, because that's such a temporary thing and it only works for a certain amount of time and then it doesn't work and then you have nothing to fall back on. But just, think about, what do you actually want to achieve in this year? Write it down, get that bullet journal down. I'll have like maybe a fucking podcast on it eventually, maybe if I can. But yeah, just write down like, what do you actually want to do? What do you want to achieve? And do it in like bits and pieces. Don't go, I'll lose 20 kilos. Yeah. Okay, how the fuck are you going to do that? You're going to fucking not eat anything for 30 days. You're going to do low carb. You're going to do fucking high carb. What are you going to do? That's when you have to start nailing down. Like, you want to break down, okay, maybe I should want to lose maybe 3 kilos in the first month. Something like that. Just break it down into segments. That's probably the best way it goes. You can go about it, especially with like the financial standpoint too. Maybe save like, I don't know, just throw a number out there, maybe $5,000 by June. Who knows? Something like that, even though it's just a really random number. And then how do you work towards that and stuff like that? So yeah, today's podcast is going to be a bit of a short one, just because there is too much to talk about and not enough vibes to go around, because I'm still a little bit overwhelmed with so much shit going on. But yeah, I hope you guys did enjoy this podcast. The next one will be on the tattoos. That is scheduled for next week. And I will have a podcast up every single Monday. That is my schedule. That's how it's going to be. Every Monday, or Melbourne time anyway. Melbourne days, boys. It's every Monday podcast. And podcasts are on Spotify, iTunes, and SoundCloud as well. Links will be all in the description down below if you're watching this on the channel. So without further ado, hopefully you guys have a great day. You take care. I'm out. Peace.